This is a review from the final of the British Go Championship 2022. So here we go. Yeah, the opening was quite similar to the first game. Yeah, in this position white didn't play here. Normally this kind of move is center, so usually black plays either at A or at B. The reason of it to play there is that if black plays elsewhere, then white can play something like this, and it's like difficult for black to answer. If black simply blocks, then white can get some profit. Either white captures the stone or cuts the stone in the center. If black plays something else, like white can try to destroy there some points, and it might be not so easy for black to get a nice living base in the corner. Even if after this move white simply blocks, what can black do? Just blocking like this. So there are no two eyes locally. So like this, black would need to run away. So because of this, usually black answers, but I think white didn't really want to make this exchange, because after this move, when black plays here, it might look like black has a few points extra and white is a little bit over concentrated, because these are two stones wall and only a two space extension instead of the common free space extension. So white decided to play elsewhere, okay, and black played once more on the top. Yeah, so later we've got some other Joseki. Okay, everything looks normal until this move. Here, this move looks strange in my opinion. It looks like black is over concentrated, because black has here a wall, and now black plays only a two space extension from it. Yeah, black has here a single stone, but just behind it there are a few stones extra. So I feel like this is just too small for black. Instead, I would recommend playing something like this, and after white answers, then trying to attack, trying to make use of this strength. So if white plays here, black can continue. Like this, black makes white think. White will need to think what to do to make sure this group is alive. Okay, black will not have here the several points, but black will get a wall, because black will have some forcing moves, because white will need to answer to make sure that this group is alive. So black will have quite strong wall instead of several points, and several points for black and several points for white. So altogether there are like 10 points difference, but black gets a wall. I think it should be more interesting for black to have this wall, and all the time black will be able to get some center moves in the future, so that white, yeah, we need to answer because this group might be in danger. But if black plays from this side, now white can already, I think white can already kind of fix the situation if white plays here. So after this move, white just cuts, white should be able to connect or take big corner. So, or like, let's say if black plays some moves like this, white gets a nice wall, white is protected. In the game, white decided to jump. So here actually, I was wondering, what if black plays Sansan? Like, if white cuts, and now we get the common, like after Hoshi, approach, and later Sansan variation. Now we've got an exchange, A for B. For whom this exchange is better? In my opinion, it's much better for black to have this exchange, because this move B, like, it doesn't really protect all this shape very well, because all the time there is a weakness. All the time it might be possible for black to play something like this in the future. And yeah, let's say this could be center, this could be center. Yeah, black might be able to still try to run away. So there are still some agi, even if black will probably not play here now, but still there are some agi. Yeah, and black gets these points extra. So yeah, black is a little bit over concentrated here, the same what I spoke earlier, but white too. White is also, I think, a bit over concentrated, but at the same time still there are these weaknesses. So yeah, I think it's just not so nice move to protect everything, and if it's possible to try to connect, I would recommend trying to connect for white. Okay, but in the game, black played here some exchange. I don't really know why. I think black just loses possibilities of playing here endgame in like 150 moves, maybe might be still possible for black to play this way, and this is more or less always center, or like almost always, so yeah, white will anyway play here. So I think it's not so necessary for black to make this exchange. Yeah, then instead of sunset, black played here, so we've got some unusual variation in the corner. Yeah, so here we've got some exchange like this. Black got points, white got some kind of thickness. But if moving a little bit back, I think white played here some mistake. Like white connected from this side, and then black was able to spoil white's shape. So black could play this exchange, suddenly white got an empty triangle, and all the time there were some problems with connection. So instead of connecting in this place, I would really recommend to connect from the other place, like this. What can black do? Black will still play here, because if black played from the other side, there are also some weaknesses in black's shape. Still there are some agi, like there will be some center moves. It's not so easy for black to really kill anything, and even if black kills, there will be still agi in black's shape, and like this group, these three stones now, it can be still sacrificable. Even if white dies with this, it's not so big. But if black gets cut, if white gets cut in this position here, in this place, in this area, then it's already not possible to really sacrifice anything, because everything is just big. So I think it would be much more interesting for white to play from this side, and if black comes back here, then maybe playing from this side, so white has a nice extension from a big wall. Yeah, if white played something else like connection, then black just breaks through and black is able to attack white's group, so I think it's not so interesting for white. So yeah, white decided to get this wall, but now just connect, and then after these moves, yeah, black still kept on running away with these two stones. So in the actual game, black connected, and then yeah, white started also to attack these black stones. But actually in this position, if I was black, I think I would play one line further, because why not? Anyway, black is protected, black is connected, but black escapes a little bit faster, one line faster. So if black wants to, for example, play here on the fourth line, when black adds a move in this spot, it's easier than if black had this one stone one line closer. So black is faster. I think it would be more interesting for black to play in this one line further. But this is the game. So white played here. Now black played some nice combo, and actually it turned quite good for black, I think. Like here we've got all these exchanges, and suddenly black got a wall from nothing. Black didn't die with these three stones. Black got quite strong shape. Okay, black will not be able to get here like really a lot of points, but black might be able to attack this white group in the future. This is the power of this, yeah, this is the possibility of making use of this strength, of this power which black just got here. So yeah, in the end I think it turned quite well for black, but I think white could resist. This move looks a little bit strange in my opinion. I think white could try to sacrifice this one stone, but giving black a not so good shape. So for example, if white plays here, what can black do? Black has just one option, extend. If white plays here, what can black do? Black has actually still just one option, extend. And now white can try to connect somewhere here. Actually, I think it even works if white plays here. Still, it doesn't work that well for black. I think white should kill black's group. So black cannot capture this stone. Black would need to capture the other stone, so white is still able to connect. And black doesn't even have a full eye so far. And white is connected with all this group. Black doesn't have this power. Black needs to run away. I think it should be much more interesting for white than in the actual game. All the time white is able to attack black, and if white is able to attack black, then this white's group here higher is also much stronger. because yeah, black cannot really think only about attack. Black also needs to think about protection of own grip. So yeah, here I think this one to make this white's shape a little bit like not so spectacular if dying with this one stone. So making several exchanges like this and just letting capture the stone, I think should be more interesting for white. Okay, but this is the game, and actually now I'm wondering, why did white make this exchange? Is it really necessary for white to make this exchange? If white simply comes back, what can black play? Connect? So then we've got this exchange. It's a great exchange for black, right? Or if black plays like this, then all the time there is agi. In the future, might be possible to make some use of this cutting point. Yes, now doesn't work because of Geta, but in the future, if white gets any stones around, it might already work. So there will be a cutting point. Also, it might be even simply enough in the future if white gets this kind of exchange. Because like this, black gets an empty triangle, this black shape is not so nice, and white gets an extra stone. And in the game, if we move the order, it's like this, so white doesn't really have this possibility of getting this extra stone because this black's wall is a little bit like more on the right. Black looks stronger in this situation, in my opinion. Okay, but white played this exchange, and now black played this nice move. Yeah, this is not so interesting for black to cut the stone because there are these weaknesses. So now when white will be running away, black will be again in danger. Yeah, so I think better to play this move. It looks like a very nice shape for black. And now in the game, white played this exchange. This looks really strange to me. Why making this exchange? It looks like I'm trying to think like what white was thinking in the actual game. So I think white was afraid that black will play here soon and black will get here quite many points. And after this exchange, after white plays here, black answers. If black plays later here, it's not so big. But it's difficult for white to get a nice follow-up after this exchange. Like for example, the very common move is to play here this schema. And after this move, it's possible to have this move in center, but it's also possible to have this move in center, and actually it might be even possible to play here and separate this group. So even though it's not so weak at the moment, but if at some point black would be running away, for example, with these two stones, then white would be able to get some kind of a wall while attacking this group, and then it might be very big for white to be able to cut here and maybe even try to kill this black group. So this move, it still creates a weakness, but it's a little bit further, so it's easier, in my opinion, to surround here some points. For example, if now black plays the same move, it's actually a common answer after this move if black wants to play something on the bottom, because if black play it one line further, then this is also a center move for white, so white is a little bit stronger here on the top. So if black plays the same move, then what happens? White can simply block. Already everything blocked, white has clear territory. And if we move this white stone as it was in the game, and now white plays the same move, like this is the actual game, now there is a gap. It might be possible for black to play here, and now white starts to have problems. So this move, I think it would be more interesting for white just to play the schema, even though this space for black to try to escape at the moment with these two stones, it's bigger. It just leaves a lot of weaknesses on the bottom. So I think this is the move for white. Okay, but this is the game, and now black played here, and now white played the schema. What's the difference between the schemas? Like now white played schema, and before white could also play schema. Before it could have also been played. Like I think there is quite big difference. Now it's possible for white to play this move in center. White has this choice, this opportunity to play the center move, so white is completely connected. This stone is connected with the other stones. But if white plays the schema now, this might not be center. So like this, black is able to cut. Now actually even black already has a stone there. So this move, like this, when white plays the schema now, there is this weakness. At any moment, black might think about cutting. So looks quite dangerous for white. So I think there is quite big difference between this schema now and this a little bit earlier. So because of this, that there is this weakness now, I would recommend to play the schema earlier. Yeah, and now instead of this move, if I was white, I think I would play something like this, so that now there is no agi of cutting, and after black comes back, later it could be possible, for example, for white to block, so like this white takes these 2 black stones. Yeah, and after this move, now white needs to take care already of these cuts in own shape. Okay, but in the game, black played here this exchange, and later black started to run away with own stones. Now white decided to attack these black stones, but in some fast way. So this was center for white, and now white played here the schema. Like this, white attacks quite fast, right? Like, what could be some alternative for white? It could be possible for white to play here. Still, it's not possible for black to connect. I mean, this group here on the right with the other stones on the left. But like this is not so fast. Like this, in the actual game, white was able to play this one line further. Now it's possible to cut. There are some weaknesses, so because of this, white played this exchange. This for this, so that is not so easy for black to cut. But while playing this exchange, white loses possibilities. So now when white plays this move, let's say in the future there will be some game later, like black will play here to escape, later white might also think about playing some jump, later black would also play something else. So yeah, let's just put some random moves on the board. And in this position, white might think about playing something like this. It aims to cut, so let's say black blocks. And now it might already be possible to do some problems for black. Like this, there is some agi possible to cut. So this is one kind of agi that this move might claim for cutting. Another agi is that if at some point black would be trying to go ahead of white, there might be also some other moves center. So for example, white might be able to get this move in center, white might be able to get this move in center. So it's also like, because of having the center moves, it's easier to attack this black's group. So in this position, I think it should be a bit more interesting for white to play a little bit slower to be able to have the center moves later. It's just this exchange, I think, yeah, it could be used in a more efficient way, this weakness here with these cuts of black. Okay, so this was the game. Now black played like this, white extended, black cut, okay, white came back, and now black started to attack white's group. So what happened? Like, white should attack black, right? But it turned out after the several moves that black is attacking white. What's going on? Like, I think it's a very nice result for black, actually. This is what happened there. Like later, a few moves later, it was some probably time threat, and then black played here. So black gets a nice shape, black is attacking white. I think it's already quite difficult for white after this sequence. Actually, now in this moment, I think I would just play here if I was white, like to spoil the shape. Like, if black comes back, white can play the same. Now black is not able to play this like nice shape, so black has a simple jump, but now black has an empty triangle, so a shape without eyes. Black would still need to have like something in mind that black might also die because black doesn't have two eyes. So black will also need to run away with his own group. And black has less space to make there any eyes in the center. And if white plays something like this, I don't see any reason why playing this exchange, by the way. But yeah, let's say this was played. So after this exchange, now when black plays here, black has more space to make their eyes. Black can even continue later with some hane. So it's also possible to do maybe some problems in white shape. So overall, I think it's a great result for black. So he had like these moves which went quite good for black. What white played, it was not playing the schema on the start, but later when it was possible to cut. Later playing this another schema, so white had to make also this exchange earlier, which made black quite strong, and later not playing here in this spot, so that white could try to spoil black's shape. And after these three moves, I think black gets a nice result. Okay, so in the game white played some exchange which I don't really understand, and yeah, white played something to get some space to make their ice with own group. Then black played this Hane, and later white played Hane, black extended, and white connected. This looks weird in my opinion. If white planned to come back, then what about just coming back immediately? So if white comes back now, white has a few points less. Like, let's just have a look at the game. So it was like this, later this is going to be center for white, so white gets here a few points. White gets here a few points, and if white plays like this, white doesn't have those points. Like, white also has something, but already less, so it's a few points difference. But in this situation, there is a cutting point, there is a weakness in black's shape. So this exchange, it actually strengthens black. If white plays at A, black plays at B, it strengthens black. It's easier for black to escape with own group. And without this exchange, if white simply comes back and protects own shape, then it might be possible to play at A. It might be possible to cut, and even if white doesn't cut, just having a possibility of playing there some moves so that later it would be possible to cut, so some center move for white. It's already quite big. It's already quite a nice profit in my opinion for white. So here I would recommend just coming back, having a few points less, but having in mind that there are some agi, there are some weaknesses in black's shape, and it might be possible to use them while cutting or while playing some other moves. Yeah, maybe something like this, so that black would need to come back, would need to protect this shape at some point. Okay, but this was the game. So white played here and then connected. Black played here some exchange, I don't know why. Yeah, then black played here also several exchanges. I think not so necessary, because if looking on this big group, still I think white would not play here, because it doesn't really help with making ice. Like this move in this spot, if white plays there, it doesn't really help with making this eye here in a star point, because because if white plays here in this place higher, then black plays on the other side, so there is miai, no eye. Yeah, I think it's just possible to wait with this exchange. But after black makes this exchange, white gets these stones a little bit higher, a little bit further, so it might also help while maybe a little bit attacking black if black plays anything inside. So I think it's still possible to wait with this and play somewhere else, because it doesn't change the situation about ice, but it gives white like one stone more, which could possibly help in the future while escaping with this group, while attacking something from black, if black plays something in this area. Okay, so this is the game. Then black played something like this. White played Tenuki. Okay, white didn't want to be attacked with these two stones. Then black played some endgame. Okay, this was played, and now black started some attack already over this white's big group in the center, and maybe trying to get also a few points here. So yeah, I think black got anyway quite good result out of this. Like, white has no points. Black might have still some center moves around, so that it's possible to kill this white's group. Like, if white doesn't play here, like, white would need to just come back with a move like this to make sure there are two eyes. It looks not so nice if white needs to make two eyes this way. So black will have some center move in the center. Yeah, I think there is already not so much space for black to lose this game. Like, it's already more or less fixed, probably just endgame. So I think black is already quite a lot ahead. I mean, maybe not very much on points, but quite safe result for black. So yeah, this was the game. Here there was some endgame. So yeah, at some point white just came back. And here also a little bit later there was some strange situation. Now I think both players made a blunder. So now after this move black can connect and these 3 stones die. So yeah, white also didn't need to play there. White could simply capture even earlier. Now capture, or after this exchange capture. Like this, not possible to kill. So this was the game, and yeah, there was just a simple endgame. So at the end, black won the game by 3.5. And still, even after some mistake in the endgame, when black didn't answer on white center, after this exchange, still black won by 3.5. This mistake, I mean, white just played a move here and black didn't answer. So it was how many points? Something like 8 points for black earlier. Okay, so the main parts of this game, I think it was here with this K-Mass, that black was able to cut and get a nice shape and attack white instead of being attacked. And also earlier, that white let black spoil own shape. I mean, white let black spoil white's shape. So here there was this empty triangle, and instead I would recommend connecting. Okay, thank you very much for your attention and see you next time. Bye.